Chapel Hall, the home of the Franklin Stage Company, has played a key role in Franklin's history from the time it was built. A magnificent example of Greek Revival architecture, Chapel Hall is listed on the National Register of Historic Places as part of the Franklin Village Historic District. Its preservation serves as a tribute not only to the fine quality of the architectural and aesthetic traditions of pre-Civil War America, but also as a testament to the high priority that education was given by the citizens of that time.
On April 2, 1835, less than 50 years after the first European settlers arrived, the residents of Franklin chartered the Delaware Literary Institute, or the DLI, as a, quote, literary institution for the instruction and education of youth of both sexes, end quote, with a primary aim of educating ministers and missionary teachers. The DLI, a college preparatory school, offered a classical education to the young men and women of Franklin and beyond.
The first building constructed as part of the DLI was Old Stone Hall, completed in 1837. Enrollment in the first year was 45 male and 38 female students. In 1852, a second building, a large three-story structure known as Ladies' Boarding Hall, was built to house female students. The Franklin Central School now stands in the place where Ladies' Hall once stood.
In 1854, construction began on Chapel Hall to house a boys' dormitory and a chapel. A windstorm demolished the building during construction, but its remains were quickly removed and the building was rebuilt for $5,000 and completed in 1856.
Together, these three structures comprised the campus of the DLI. In the early years, the street in front of Chapel Hall, Institute Street, did not exist, but was part of the beautiful tree-lined campus surrounding the school. The DLI was widely known and respected, attracting students from near and far, even from abroad. At its height in 1852, enrollment at the school was 409 students. Enrollment declined following the Civil War and remained at about 225 students through the next 30 years, dropping again in the 1890s due to competition from public schools. In 1902, the DLI succumbed to public and financial pressures and leased its buildings for use as a union-free school.
Then, in 1909, the DLI merged with the Delaware Academy public school system, and Chapel Hall was purchased by the Franklin Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons No. 562.
Throughout most of the 20th century, Chapel Hall was home to both the Masons and the Order of the Eastern Star, an affiliated women's organization. The Masons added the balcony that is currently the theater's tech booth, built the proscenium theater on the first floor where the chapel was once located, and remodeled the third-floor dormitory into a tin-walled and ceilinged Masonic temple. Many other remodeling elements and improvements were made to the building by the Masons.
An interesting detail from this era is that, during their tenure, the Eastern Stars rehearsed and performed theatrical presentations and signed their names on the back wall of the proscenium. Those signatures can still be seen on the back wall today and are now joined by the signatures of actors from Franklin Stage Company's 25 years of productions who continued this tradition.
Although the Masons and the Eastern Stars remained in residence throughout the 20th century, by 1996, the Masons were finding it increasingly difficult to maintain the building. Their membership was dwindling, and Chapel Hall needed a good deal of restoration work. The Masons believed the building should remain in the public sphere and hesitated to sell it to the only interested party, a commercial developer who wanted to convert Chapel Hall into an apartment house. Among Franklin residents, there was great concern that the building might be irrevocably changed.
Hearing of this difficulty, and seeing the possibility for a long-cherished goal, Franklin residents Eugene Marner, Cara Lucia Satrina, and then Mayor Thomas W. Butts approached the lodge to lease the building as a theater. The Masons offered instead to give them the building. In this way, the lodge could be assured that Chapel Hall would continue to be a public space, available to the community for public performances. A not-for-profit corporation, Franklin Stock Company at Chapel Hall Incorporated, was formed in October 1996, to which, in July 1997, the lodge transferred the title of the building.
For the next 2.5 decades, the Franklin Stage Company produced plays every summer, ranging from classical works such as Shakespeare, Chekhov, and Molière, to new works in dance, music, and performance. From its founding, the Franklin Stage Company has remained admission-free to ensure that all are welcome regardless of economic circumstance.
Part of the Franklin Stage Company's dual mission is to preserve and maintain its magnificent home. From its beginnings, FSC has steadily chosen restoration projects that equally address safety, comfort, and historic preservation, while continuing to provide an open public space with its theatrical and visual arts presentations and partnership with the Franklin Farmers Market. FSC is proud to serve as a space where community can thrive in the Western Catskills.
Franklin Stage Company thanks the Franklin Railroad and Community Museum and the Delaware County Historical Association for generously opening their archives for this exhibit. Franklin Stage Company and the Evolution of Chapel Hall exhibit is funded by a generous grant from the Tri-M Foundation.